Hello, my name is Dr. Dewan S. Raja. Today I will discuss about Pterygopalatine Fossa. What is Pterygopalatine Fossa? This is a small pyramidal space on the lateral aspect of the skull situated deeply below the apex of the orbit between the maxilla and the sphenoid bone. What structure forms the anterior boundary? The anterior boundary is formed by the infratemporal surface of the posterior maxilla. What structure forms the posterior boundary? By the pterygoid process of the sphenoid bone. Okay, so it is a pyramidal, deeply situated space located between the maxilla and the sphenoid bone below the apex of the orbit. Okay, we got that. So, small pyramidal space on the lateral aspect of the skull situated deeply below the apex of the orbit between the maxilla and the sphenoid bone. So, this is the Pterygopalatine fossa. This is the maxilla. This is the sphenoid bone. We have also contribution from the palatine bones. We'll go there. What structure forms the medial boundary? Medial boundary is formed by the perpendicular plate of the palatine bone. What is the feature of the lateral wall of the Pterygoplatin fossa? It communicates with the infratemporal fossa through the Pterygomaxillary fissure. What structure forms the superior boundary of the Pterygoplatin fossa? We have the undersurface of the body of the sphenoid bone. Okay, so it is a structure. You can take out this S. What structure forms the inferior boundary of the Pterygoplatin fossa? There is the pyramidal process of the palatine bone. Okay, communication of the Pterygopalatine fossa. Okay, we can add the word fossa here again. What is the anterior communication of the Pterygopalatine fossa? With the orbit through the Infraorbital Fissure. What are the three posterior communications of the Pterygopalatine fossa? With the middle cranial fossa via the Foramen rotundum. Foramen rotundum for the passage of the maxillary nerve. With the foramen lacerum through the pterygoid canal. With the nasopharynx through the palato-vaginal canal. What is the medial communication of the Pterygoplatin fossa? With the nose through the nasopalatine foramen. Okay, so we are looking at the communication, the gateway. Okay, here is the infraorbital fissure. There is a communication through the infraorbital fissure to the floor of the orbit here. Okay, then here it is communicated to the infratemporal fossa through the pterygomaxillary fissure. It is communicated to the nasal cavity through the sphenopalatine foramen. And posteriorly, we have three openings. One, foramen rotundum, to middle cranial cavity, middle cranial fossa. Then, pterygoid canal to the middle cranial fossa. Pterygoid canal, cranial cavity, middle cranial fossa. This is the palato-vaginal canal. By it communicate with the nasopharynx to the palatine canal to the roof of the oral cavity. Okay, these are the communication gateways of the Pterygoplatin fossa. Okay, what is the lateral communication of the Pterygoplatin fossa? With the infratemporal fossa through the pterygomaxillary fissure. What is the inferior communication of the Pterygoplatin fossa? with the oral cavity through the greater and lesser palatine canals. Okay, through the greater and lesser palatine canals. What are the contents of the Pterygopalatine fossa? Certainly we'll get the Pterygopalatine ganglion, we'll get the maxillary nerve here and its two branches, zygomatic nerve and the posterior superior alveolar nerve. The zygomatic nerve is here. Okay, and it also has posterior superior alveolar nerve. Pterygopalatine ganglion and its branches. We have some veins also formed here. Those veins come out through the pterygomaxillary fissure. Okay, and it communicates with the pterygoid plexus vein with that of the veins, that of the veins of the infratemporal fossa. We have the pterygoid plexus of vein. So the vein from here come out through the pterygomaxillary fissure and communicate with that of the pterygoid plexus of veins. So we have third part of maxillary artery as a content and its branches. This is the maxillary artery. We have the infraorbital artery. We have the sphenoplatin artery branches of this. Nasopalatine, it goes along with nasopalatine nerve. We have the pharyngeal artery and nerve here. This is the maxillary artery and these are all on the branches like infraorbital artery, like that of the sphenopalatine artery. And we have the descending palatine artery, greater palatine artery, the lesser palatine artery. So these are the branches of the third part of the maxillary artery. So we have third part of the maxillary artery, maxillary nerve and its branches, and pterygopalatine ganglion. We have some vein that will communicate with the pterygoid plexus vein in the infratemporal fossa. And that's all about the boundary and contents of the Pterygopalatine fossa. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me. Please share the information with your friends. Please support my channel. Please subscribe me. Have a nice and blessed day for you. Bye now.